Hi everybody, Dr. Tanya Clark with Outpatient Mobile Solutions. And today I'm here to show you something that I really enjoy doing. I try to incorporate in my occupational therapy practice. I try to incorporate music. So here today I've got this lovely old organ that is going to help us to try to work towards some OT related goals. So with occupational therapy, one thing that I would be looking at specifically with something like this is a person's fine motor coordination, their dexterity, their sensation, even if it's to pressure. Uh, with with this activity, it's also going to require their vision, at least to an extent, especially if they aren't a musician themselves. They also have to be able to hold their body at the instrument. So in this particular case, being able to stay sitting unsupported. Now, if you have a client, for example, or you are somebody who is looking to incorporate this into your therapy, including for occupational therapy, and you didn't have what we would refer to as core stability or strength here, so then, you're slouching or you have a hard time sitting upright for a duration of time, you could use a back chair, so a kitchen chair is just fine. And my cat Kelly is going to come and help us here. Kelly, you have to get down. But so another thing that you're going to be looking at is their ability to what we call cross midline. So I will be throwing some different therapy terms out as well as pulling back too. So I apologize if it's too much for some people, but hopefully everyone will be able to get something out of this. So crossing midline is going past the center point of our body. So your midline is from your nose to your belly button straight down towards your knees. And between your feet. So if you are neurologically compromised, so for example, if you've had a stroke, then you're going to have a difficult time, more than likely, with crossing midline. So in order to help you to regain control of the nerves on the different sides of your body, you want to promote your crossing midline in order to regain the skill. So that's kind of a toned down version, but so if you think about diagonal motions, so therapists out there, PNF patterns, this is definitely incorporating that reaching across midline. So what I want to do is I want to first show you a couple different exercises that I'll have individuals do, clients do, and then I might go into a little bit more as far as the therapy piece or the client appropriateness piece. My goal today is not only to show individuals something that they can do at home for themselves, especially because it might be challenging to get to a clinic right now, or it might be challenging to use something like this right now, but I also want to give other therapists ideas to help them with their practice. So one of the first things that I will focus on is, in addition to the basic foundational piece, is I will have them find a spot on the keyboard where they're comfortable. So here, I'm just going to go right here. And so what you want to do is you want to have them try to separate, and hopefully you can see this okay. I think I'll go up here so you can see it a little bit better. So you want to have them separate each finger, so that way they have one key under each finger. And so each key is what I'm referring to as the white keys. The black keys are going to be left alone for right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your client push 5 in succession. So you're going to go one next to the other, okay? And by doing that, you're doing something which therapists will refer to as digit isolation. So you're isolating your ability to perform that movement. Okay, so what you would then try to progress to doing is, if the client is able to, go a little faster and try to keep the fingers lower to the keyboard so then it's a more isolated movement. Okay? And if they're able to, you can go back down. So what you're doing is you're doing one at a time, and then back down. So this is a great substitution for an exercise that might be like this. So doing circles. Now this would be a downgrade from that because you're not going fully across your palm. You're not doing full opposition, but you are isolating each digit. So it might be a good way for you to downgrade that activity for your client, as well as giving them the motion inside their palm. Try to work towards that full adduction of the thumb, for example, so then you can get full opposition. So again, going up and down is one thing. You could do it with both hands. And if you're trying to help somebody, especially after a stroke, and say they are left dominant, you would have them do, left dominant, and their left side was affected by the stroke. Have them do the non-affected side first. So if you have a weak side after a neurological event, do the unaffected side first. So if I'm the individual with the stroke symptoms and it's my left hand that's affected, I would maybe take my hand and put it in my lap. And so in my lap, I'm going to try to do the same thing. So I'm trying to use this as a mirror activity. And with especially stroke recovery, using a mirror for promoting the neurological reconnection is a great tool. Therapists out there, if you haven't already looked into mirror therapy, check it out. It's really fascinating. But again, so what you would want to aim for is being able to, and depending on their propensity, I do have some musical training. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have both of my thumbs on the same key because that's the standard position. So I'm going to go and then mirror, okay? And all you're going to do is you're going up and down, basically. So you're going from your thumb towards your pinky and then back towards your thumb. So you're going ulnar to radial. So what you're going to do again is you're going to go one by one. And if you can, you want to really isolate that. You can add a little pause in between. You can shorten it. You can make it louder. You can make it softer. That's a little bit more effective on the piano than an organ, but you can still hear the difference a little bit. So this way you can not only help them with their sensation, so feeling the key underneath of their finger pad, but you can also feel the pressure of pushing. And you don't want to have people banging on it, but you do want them to be able to feel the pressure underneath of the key. And they should. And if you don't feel the pressure under the key, there might be something going on with either your sensation, so like for example diabetic neuropathy, or you might have had symptoms following a stroke. So there's a couple different reasons why you might not feel that. Another thing that I'll have people do, especially if they have an interest in the music once you start doing that little thing, is I'll have them do something like a chord. And so a chord is a series of notes that together make a sound that sounds nice. And I'm dumbing it down, I apologize. So what you're doing is you are doing 3 separate notes, and it makes this really nice sound together. But from a therapy's perspective, you are isolating 3 different fingers, and you are trying to push them all at once, and you can hear if one isn't working. So you're being given the biofeedback of the lack of sound. So for example, if I'm only able to get 2 out of the 3, I can hear that. So then if I am helping it as a therapist, then you can hear the difference, and then you let go. This is where the organ is helpful, because with the piano, you won't get that as much unless you're pushing on a certain pedal. So again, what you're going to be doing is you're going to try to allow the person the opportunity to put 3 together. So it's every other. Now, it's not going to sound as nice if you just were to do every other. Doesn't sound awful, but it's certainly going to sound the best if you have actual chords that you are addressing. But, certainly if you've got no knowledge, you can do every other. Okay? So that way then you've got the white keys taken care of, and that's a couple different activities that you can do and have your clients do, or you yourself can do. So now adding in the black keys. So these are the sharps and the flats. And with a piano or an organ, this adds an extra part of the music. And so if you're trying to use this as a therapeutic exercise, you can go up and down. Okay? You can also do it from the other finger. So say, for example, somebody's had a hand surgery and they're a typer. And they had, say, a surgery right here on their index finger tendon. And you have them go left and then right onto the black keys from the white. You are then helping them to get the biofeedback. They're hearing the sound that they're creating. So then when they go back to typing, then they'll be able to get those keys. So that's a quick and easy way of thinking about how that could be useful for people. But again, it's a great tool for the biofeedback, for the fine motor, for the proprioception or the pressure sensation, for the light touch, and again, for the postural component. So, from a therapist perspective, different clients that I would use this with, certainly anybody who has an interest in music, because again, there's so many different pieces that you can incorporate. If somebody is having visual changes or visual impairments, then you might be able to use something like this to give them the, again, biofeedback. So they're hearing the sound, so they could do it with their eyes closed and hear that they're going up or going to the half or black key as opposed to the white key. You could do it with somebody who has had a neurological event where they can't feel, or you are trying to build up their awareness what they're feeling. And so, and I apologize, I'm trying to go back and forth between layman's and non. So pardon me, hopefully everybody's following so far. So if you are going through and you are playing these different things, if you have no vision while you're doing it, you're still hearing what you're doing. Okay, so say I am trying to encourage my client to feel what the fingers are feeling. So I might have given them a sensory dig or a little box with, say, noodles or corn or rice, and I've put different things in there. And I've had them close their eyes and pick them out. With something like this, I can have them close their eyes and try to find any key and have them just press one key with one finger. And then I can say, okay, I want you to look away and I want you to press the same key with each finger once. So then you're having them find their body position without looking. And so that will definitely help to challenge their sensation and again, their nervous system. So I hope this has been helpful. I know that, again, occupational therapy does work on a lot of the fine motor pieces, but certainly looking at people's activities that they enjoy is really important. And so something like music can be helpful with a variety of different individuals and a variety of different cases. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you can all enjoy some music at your next therapy session. So again, Tanya Clark with Outpatient Mobile Solutions, and I hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.